In Mark chapter 5, there's an amazing story that describes Jesus touching, or actually a lady touching Jesus and finding healing. In these verses 25 through 29, listen as I read them to you. We'll read some other verses from the same story in just a moment. A woman in the crowd had suffered for 12 years with constant bleeding. She had suffered a great deal from many doctors, and over the years she had spent everything she had to pay them, but she had gotten no better. In fact, she had gotten worse. She had heard about Jesus, so she came up behind him through the crowd and touched his robe, for she thought to herself, if I can just touch his robe, I will be healed. Immediately the bleeding stopped, and she could feel in her body that she had been healed of her terrible condition. Let's break this story apart just for a moment. Here's a lady, we do not know her name. We know very little about her except that she had been bleeding, hemorrhaging, for 12 years. According to the scriptures, she could find no cure. There was no natural remedy for her situation. She'd gone to every doctor, every physician, any person that could potentially help her over those 12 years, and she'd not gotten any better. In fact, she'd gotten worse. One translation or one rendering of this says that she'd spent all she had trying to get well, trying every cure possible, and nothing had satisfied her condition and cured her of her condition. In fact, the Bible says, according to the Gospel of Mark, that she had actually gotten worse. And so now she's in this terrible condition. She's bleeding profusely, and there's no answer for her in the natural realm. But she heard about Jesus. What a beautiful day it is when we hear about Jesus. She heard about Jesus. Somebody told her Jesus is in the town today, and he's available. And she heard this, and something was sparked in her heart, and she had this thought in her mind and this faith in her heart. She said, if I can just get to him, if I can reach out and touch just the edge of his garment, if I can just reach and touch one of the tassels on his robe, that's all I need to do. I'll be whole, I'll be healed. She had faith to believe that there was a supernatural healing. When the natural could not do it, the supernatural could do it for her. This day, Jesus is going through a massive crowd of people, and lots of folks are around. In fact, Jesus, as you read the story, he's on the way to the house of a synagogue ruler by the name of Jairus to heal his daughter, which eventually becomes a resurrection of his daughter. And so there's lots of people around, and she works her way through the crowd. And based upon what we see in the story, it seems as though she perhaps was sort of crawling through the crowd, because she reaches out and touches the edge of his garment, Jesus' garment. And the Bible says that there in that moment, immediately the bleeding stops. Listen, Jesus can do for you what no man can do for you. Jesus can do for you what no person can do for you. And she had that experience in that moment. She touched Messiah. She touched the healer. She was healed.